This was a drive-in right here. Was not called a foul. And wow, I gotta tell you, it was on and popping in this game.
Even make a move to try to keep Burton off.
Caitlin crashed out on the refs. Right here. Right here. She lost it. And you could tell at one point in the game, later after this, she got pulled out of the game, and I think she slammed the table on the way out of the game. But this is another look at this. Real close.
I've got to be honest, the officials allowed.
The world of basketball is blossoming with startling discoveries. A reputable sports writer has revealed what seems to be a concerted effort by the Indiana Fever to discredit Caitlin Clark. As internal correspondents reveal intentional efforts to discredit the sophomore superstar, top league executives are in a panic. Prepare yourself for the truth. Has the Indiana Fever's fixation on managing Caitlin Clark's story turned into their worst error to date? If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 83% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So, did you subscribe already?
Great.
Thank you so much for your support. Now, back to the video.
My only logic is that they are hoping that something bad happens during this game tonight, so that they can say, well, look, this has happened. This is when we were reporting this whole fan base and something happened tonight.
Okay, so the Indiana Fever are now experiencing a complete collapse. In all honesty, they are entirely to blame. An actual credentialed reporter with contacts inside the league office is exposing what appears to be a concerted attempt to downplay Caitlin Clark's influence on women's basketball. This is not some random Twitter account with 3 followers and a basketball emoji in their handle.
I'm gonna give the referee some credit here. Referee didn't even give her a technical. In this moment, this was the first time I've ever seen that the referee actually treated her like her name was LeBron James.
Let us simply call it what it is. The most disgraceful act of self-destruction a professional sports league has ever committed. The Indiana Fever have finally received the widespread recognition they have long yearned for. And it seems that their reaction is to disparage Caitlin Clark, the athlete who has attracted millions of new fans. The now famous inquiry into alleged racial remarks made during the Indiana Fever versus Golden State Valkyries game served as the catalyst for the whole affair. Do you recall the game in which Clark scored the remarkable triple-double? Additionally, the Fever completely destroyed the Golden State Valkyries by 35 points, shattering 11 records. Rather of commemorating this amazing accomplishment, the WNBA opened an inquiry based, wait for it, on Twitter postings rather than proof, video, or audio records. Respected USA Today journalist Christine Brennan has recently disclosed something even more alarming. Her sources claim that the investigation's goal was never to shield athletes from racial mistreatment. Finding something, anything, to divert attention from Clark's commanding performance was the goal. According to Brennan, a top WNBA official said in a leaked internal message from the league office, need to find balance in coverage. CC momentum becoming troublesome for league narrative. Yes, you read it right. A player's popularity is troublesome, according to a league executive. Imagine the NBA claiming that LeBron James' popularity is detrimental to their league's narrative. The ridiculousness is unbelievable, but it just gets worse. Brennan's report contains information about a messaging strategy that was developed weeks prior to the Fever Golden State Valkyries game. The strategy outlines ways to guarantee fair coverage for all players, which may seem reasonable at first glance, but it specifically outlines ways to limit Clark-focused stories and divert media attention regardless of on-court performance. This clarifies a great deal about how the league has treated Clark ever since she joined the WNBA. The persistent criticism of her defense, the downplaying of her historic accomplishments, and the strange attention on her body language and facial expressions. It was not only haphazard journalists with ulterior motives. The league itself seems to have had a real, well-coordinated plan. Since this inquiry is the ideal illustration of this approach, let us take a moment to discuss it. The WNBA said they had no completion timetable 3 days after releasing it.
Why?
Because there is nothing to find, they are unable to locate anything. Former Indiana Fever coach Natalie Nakase of the Golden State Valkyries made it plain that he did not hear anything improper during the game. There was nothing more than typical basketball heckling, according to many spectators. They used a well-known flight response sound effect, which is often used in NBA stadiums, including Pacers games, in what some attempted to misrepresent as racist yelling. It sounds like a meme. That is all. This whole dispute started because of it. Why, therefore, is the probe still in progress? Brennan's sources claim that the league is waiting for another revelation before having to acknowledge the lack of proof. They are really waiting for another dispute to take precedence over this one. Journalism is not like that. That does not keep gamers safe. For a self-inflicted wound, it is damage control. The damage has already been done. However, as one WNBA source told Brennan, they're trying to find out how in a society when practically everything is recorded, no sound or video of these claimed statements exists because nothing occurred. The Indiana Fever's fanbase has been negatively impacted by the investigation's very existence, and a narrative that only exists on social media rather than in reality has been formed. As they say, the severity of the accusation is what matters, not the quality of the proof. The WNBA legitimized unfounded allegations by initiating its inquiry based on unsupported Twitter remarks. In order to deflect attention from Clark's remarkable achievement, they essentially put a whole fan base under the bus. Employees at the WNBA voiced concerns about the league's current trajectory. The issue is why, according to one employee, there is internal concern over Clark's popularity, creating a scenario where casual fans only care about one player. Instead of using it to develop the entire league, there is this bizarre anger and aggressive attempt to minimize her. Why would a league that has had years of problems with attendance, popularity, and mainstream importance consciously want to undermine its greatest star? Brennan's reporting offers intriguing answers. First, the competitive balance in media coverage seems to be a major worry. According to some league officials, letting Clark represent the WNBA might drive away other celebrities and their fan bases. In theory, this could make sense, but in reality, it demonstrates a basic misunderstanding of how sports marketing works. There have been faces in every successful sports league. Brennan sources claim that several powerful individuals in the league's hierarchy are uneasy about the shifting demographics of the WNBA fanbase. Some people are really worried that Clark's new admirers do not match the ideal profile. The most perplexing part of the whole affair, according to one person who spoke to Brennan, is that, instead of viewing new followers as a development opportunity, they are looked with distrust. For decades, the WNBA has battled for media attention, popularity, and financial sustainability. Thanks in large part to Clark's appeal, they now have it, but some in the league seem to see this as an issue rather than an opportunity. Let us be specific. Caitlin Clark is not only well-liked. She is giving women's basketball previously unheard of attention. Her games set new records for viewership. Sell out arenas. Products fly off the shelf. Broadcast rights are a battleground for television networks. Women's basketball should celebrate this as a huge victory. Rather, we get inquiries based on tweets and internal tactics to restrict coverage of the greatest star in the league. It is the pinnacle of organizational malpractice. Examples of how this anti-Clark strategy has materialized during her early career are provided in Brennan's study. Internal WNBA communications advised downplaying rather than praising her accomplishment after she broke the NCAA scoring mark by highlighting the fact that she played more games than prior record holders. She caused draft viewing to soar, but instead of recognizing her influence, the marketing emphasized the quality of the draft class as a whole. Even more interesting, the league's official social media originally emphasized a totally different statistical accomplishment from another player in the same game when Clark scored her maiden WNBA triple-double last season, making history as the quickest rookie to do it. They did not appropriately recognize Clark's historic performance until after criticism. The discovery in Brennan's investigation that this goes beyond social media and public relations is really devastating. It also applies to officiating. There have reportedly been talks of using officiating techniques to control Clark's influence. On games, there are frequently debates regarding how to officiate particular players. Stars normally receive certain calls. Rookies do not get recognition yet, a former referee told Brennan. That's normal, but I've never heard of a strategy to specifically limit one player's effectiveness or appeal through officiating. This might explain why Clark has received such inconsistent officiating in her WNBA career so far, despite being the most fouled player in college basketball. She suddenly doesn't get those same calls as a pro. The physicality allowed against her seems different from what other guards experience. Of course, the WNBA has denied all of these allegations. Their official statement calls Brennan's reporting baseless and without merit. But notably, they haven't addressed any of the specific claims or explained why they launched an investigation based solely on social media posts without any corroborating evidence. The reaction from basketball fans has been swift and overwhelming. Across platforms, people are expressing frustration with how the WNBA has handled these situations. Many point out the double standard between how online abuse towards certain players is ignored while unverified in-arena allegations get immediate attention. Others note that this is part of a pattern of the WNBA seemingly being uncomfortable with its own success. Every time viewership rises, every time new fans engage with the league, there seems to be an effort to create controversy rather than celebrate growth. Perhaps the most frustrating aspect of this entire situation is how it overshadows the actual basketball being played. The WNBA product has never been better. The talent level is at an all-time high. The game has evolved to feature more three-point shooting, a faster pace, and higher scoring. Rookies are entering the league more prepared than ever before. Veterans are extending their careers with improved training and nutrition. And at the center of this renaissance is Caitlin Clark, whose game has evolved dramatically from her rookie season. She's addressed criticisms of her defense, improved her efficiency, and continued to make history with her unique blend of scoring and playmaking. Her sophomore campaign has been nothing short of spectacular. Yet, instead of celebrating these achievements, the league seems determined to find ways to minimize them. Instead of using Clark's popularity to elevate the entire WNBA, there appears to be an active effort to restrict her impact. This approach isn't just bad for Clark, it's bad for all WNBA players. Rising tides lift all boats. When more people watch games because of Clark, they also discover players like Aya Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Angel Reese, Kelsey Plum, and dozens of other incredible athletes. These new fans don't just watch Indiana Fever games. They become fans of women's basketball. The metrics support this. Viewership is up across all WNBA broadcasts, not just Indiana Fever games. Social media engagement has increased for all teams. Merchandise sales are up league-wide. Clark's popularity isn't taking anything away from other players. It's adding value to the entire ecosystem. Why is there such resistance? Brennan's reporting suggests it might be about control. For years, the WNBA operated in a relatively small bubble. Media coverage was limited. Fans were dedicated but few in number, and the league could largely control its own narrative. Clark has disrupted that dynamic, bringing mainstream attention that can't be controlled or directed. Some within the league apparently preferred the smaller, more controlled environment of the past. They were comfortable with gradual growth and maintaining the status quo. Clark represents explosive, unpredictable growth, the kind that changes power dynamics and challenges existing hierarchies. This is a tale as old as time in business. Established interests often resist disruptive change, even when that change brings obvious benefits. Think of how the music industry initially fought against streaming or how traditional taxi companies resisted ride-sharing apps. Change is scary, especially when it threatens existing power structures. But those who resist inevitable change usually end up on the wrong side of history. The WNBA has a fantastic opportunity right now to ride the wave of unprecedented attention, welcome new fans with open arms, and grow the league to heights never seen before. However, if Brennan's reporting is correct, some members of the league are actively working against this growth. The irony is painful. After years of fighting for more media attention, more fans, and more financial support, some members of the league seem determined to sabotage their own success because it is not happening exactly as they envisioned. Caitlin Clark herself has handled this situation with remarkable grace, saying, "I am just focused on basketball. I have no control over anything other than how I play and interact with others. Aaliyah Boston, the former #1 pick who might have felt overshadowed by Caitlin Clark's arrival, instead welcomed her as a partner. When asked about the alleged agenda against Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston responded, "It is disappointing to see. That level of maturity and focus is impressive for any athlete, let alone a 23-year-old in just her second professional season." Her teammates have been equally supportive. "We are aware of Caitlin Clark's dedication and her value to the league and our club." Natalie Nakase, the coach of the Golden State Valkyries, is also deserving of recognition. Anyone who really loves about women's basketball should be praising what Caitlin Clark is bringing to the game. He was candid about his experiences in Indiana Fever, even though he was the victim of that 35-point rout. His honesty contrasts sharply with the anonymous sources that propagated the racist story on social media after the game. "I heard nothing wrong from the crowd. Nothing racial, nothing breaking any borders. It was a classic basketball environment. Loud, enthusiastic, but polite. It would have been simple for him to remain quiet or even endorse charges made against a competing squad. Rather, he was honest even when it was not in the best interests of his team." The most concerning aspect of Brennan's findings is how it may affect this summer's All-Star game in Indianapolis. Her sources claim that because of the unsubstantiated claims from the Indiana Fever Golden State Valkyries game, there have already been talks about possibly postponing the event. Please share your thoughts in the comment section, subscribe, and enable all notifications so you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.